Hello and welcome back to Rock Tumbling Weekly. For those new to the channel, my name is Shannon and I love rocks and gemstones, and rock tumbling is one of my favorite hobbies and it's really keeping me sane right now. And for everyone watching, I really hope that you're doing well in this age of staying put. It's not easy on everybody, and it's requiring a lot of change and a lot of flexibility and doing things a little bit differently. But I hope you're adapting to that well. I'm adapting here in that I am tumbling only items that have a 7-day cycle so that it limits my time away from family focusing on rocks. So it's a bummer I have less time to focus on rocks and gemstones, but I am getting to spend more time with my kids, and we are experimenting with the online learning that has been implemented for the schools across the United States. And we are just having to adjust our lives and routines, and I hope you are all doing okay. Today is my day for rocks and gemstones, yay! And I get to show you what's going on in my barrels right now. So let's get to the good stuff and see what I've got tumbling today. Here is the Lavic sighting Jasper after about 1,000,000 weeks in coarse. And, I think at this point it's just time to move on to medium. I have pulled some out that I think will make good contest contenders. And it's really about time to get these into medium grit, because I think wearing these down anymore isn't going to take out some of the imperfections that I was seeing. So I'm going to get these rinsed off really well, because there's lots of crevices for coarse grit to hide in here, so it really needs a good wash cycle. And then I can move these on to medium grit. Here is the tree agate after several weeks in coarse, and the shape is really nice now, and I really do think it's ready to move on to medium. This is a batch that's going to have a lot with just a natural shape rather than like really rounded oval or circle looking pieces. Like this one's really lovely. I really like that one. And like here, we've got a little crystal, a little druzy cave in there. Looking gorgeous. And just look at these patterns. So nice. There we go. There's my focus. Look at that. You've got crystals there in the middle, and then the tree agate all around it. So nice. All right. Look at that. That's another favorite. This is just looking really, really lovely. So I'm also going to put this through a wash cycle so I can make sure to get rid of any of the remaining coarse grit that might be in some of these crevices, and then move this on to medium grit. Here is the smoky quartz after several weeks in coarse, and it's come to a point in its tumbling where we're going to have to split this batch. Some of it is ready to move on to medium, and some of it still needs more time in coarse. So I'll be going through each one of these and just deciding whether it can go on to medium grit and put that aside, and then see which ones need more time in coarse. And so I look through the entire batch, split them into 2 bunches, then keep the coarse going for another week or 2. And then when the majority of them are ready for medium, then I combine the 2 batches again and move them on to medium. So let me get to sorting, and you'll see some of these again next week. now that I'm looking through all of these pieces of smoky quartz, one thing that I'm noticing is this particular batch has a lot of gold rutile inclusions in it. So we've got rutilated smoky quartz, and I've got a lot of pieces of that. I'm not sure if you can see it very well, but this is one of the best examples here with like larger inclusions in it. So that's a nice surprise and something we don't see until we get a couple of weeks of course through and we can actually just see what the stones look like. So nice surprise. This Lake Superior agate is looking super pretty, and Lake Superior agate has this distinctive like orange, dark orange color to it. Oh, so gorgeous. And the banding and the druzy. And some of these pieces are just looking so gorgeous. Really nice. Some of them are getting a little beat up though. This one is mostly this crystal druzy and it's getting a little banged up. So we'll see how it goes next week, and it might have to come out, but I hope it improves. But I'm really excited. This reminds me of carnelian. All right, well, let me get this back into its barrel with more coarse grit and some more ceramic media, and we'll see it again next week. Here is the Girasol opal after 1 week in medium grit, and the surface is feeling much smoother. When a stone is done with coarse, you can still feel kind of some fuzziness, some scratches on the surface, and then after medium, you should not feel that anymore. It should feel very smooth. However, after medium, it's past the point where you can feel it anymore, and then the fine and extra fine really work on making this a perfect surface in which to polish. And I've looked through these so far, and I don't see any additional chipping or damage while it was in the medium phase, but I am going to look through everything before it goes on to fine and pull out anything that I think might chip or break apart, because then that could really wreck your batch and cause you to move backwards to repair it. But this is looking good. And also remember, when you move a batch into fine and extra fine and polish, especially if it's quartz-like, like this is, that it needs a lot of ceramic media to cushion it from impact damage, which is the rocks banging into each other. And quartz materials can be a little fragile when it comes to impact. So I'm going to look through all of these and make sure that I take out anything that might be questionable, wash it up really good in a wash cycle, and get this onto fine grit. Well, thanks again for joining me this week for Rock Tumbling Weekly and seeing what's in my barrels. And everything's looking really good right now. And I'm interested to see what the Lavic looks like after some time in medium. It seemed to have gotten really beat up in the coarse and was starting to feel a little more ragged on the surface, but I've experienced that before with amethyst and other quartz, and medium smooths that right out. The lapis from last week. So a recommendation from a viewer is to put the lapis in a dry polish, and brilliant. Why didn't I think about that? because I'm distracted by life. So I'm doing just that. I'm taking some of the lapis batch and I'm putting it in a dry polish barrel with the cerium oxide to see if I can get a little bit more shine on the surface of that without the additional undercutting. Now that's a bonus of dry polish, is that since it's just polish and corn cob and the impact is really minimized by the cushion of the corn cob, you don't get any additional undercutting during that polish cycle. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty excited. And then, one more thing. Since I have some more, well, I guess I don't have more time, but I have more curiosity, that there has been a recent trend on the rock tumbling hobby forum about tumbling large pieces of rock, like, stuff like this. And, I've been really curious. So I'm thinking about getting a larger barrel, a QT12, a 12-pound barrel from Lorton, and starting to tumble some larger pieces of stone. However, I'm hesitant to add anything to my plate right now, but it's just one more barrel. I know that I'm taking out the vibratory work for right now because that's a lot more high maintenance. It requires daily checks, sometimes more than once a day, and filming them. And right now I'm homeschooling children, so I just don't have that daily time right now. But I'm really excited to see how these barrels turn out next week. And, if you're looking for a new hobby during this isolation period, then remember that rock tumbling is great. And I do have an online tutorial, Rock Tumbling 101, and I'll link to that in the description below. It's completely online and it's got videos just demonstrating all of the steps, and I talk about all the supplies and tumblers and everything that you'll need to finish your first batch of tumbled gemstones. So, and don't forget, no matter what stage of rock tumbling you're at, to subscribe to this channel if you're interested in seeing a variety of tumbled gemstones, and, just to give yourself something extra to watch during our times inside. So thank you so much for joining me this week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye-bye.